that whole thing with Aidan Mitchell and Tammy Galloway, that still bothers me. It just never made any sense. I mean, if anyone was a bully, it was Tammy. Me and Aid and Abigail Fraser and Tammy all went to the same junior school. Aid was one of my best mates, but Tammy and Abigail were just these girls in our year. They weren't even in our class. We never had anything to do with them. But when we all went into year 7 at our new secondary school, the 4 of us got put into the same form group together. We got to know Tammy and Abigail pretty well then, and they were complete bitches. They were always taking the piss out of Aidan. I think his dad was still in prison at the time. I mean, it's not like it was a secret or anything when we were in primary school, but no one really said anything to him about it. And apart from the few of us who already knew Aid, no one at our new school knew anything about it. Not to start with, anyway. For some reason, Tammy and Abigail always messed with him about it, and it kind of got around pretty quickly. At the time, he was a bit fat and had crappy trainers. They'd say dumb shit to him like, "Your dad must be a shit criminal if those are the best trainers you can afford. Couldn't he steal you some Nikes?" And whenever stuff went missing, they'd always try and blame it on him. Like father, like son. That's what they always say. His dad wasn't even in prison for stealing anyway. Fucking idiots. I suppose it was nothing really. Just stupid things like that. I think Tammy thought she was being funny, maybe. But the two of them would just never leave him alone. Aid would always go bright red and he'd never say anything back. I remember he had this Star Wars lunchbox. You know, even in year 6, he'd gotten the piss taken out of him for that, but he'd still bring his lunch in it every day. I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure, actually. His dad had given it to him. Anyway, he'd take his lunchbox out of his bag and get his sandwiches and crisps and whatever out and come with us and eat in the lunch hall. One lunchtime, he got his food out and left his bag in the form room as usual, but when we got back to the form room, someone had taken out his lunchbox and drawn dicks all over the characters with Tipp-Ex. Tammy and Abigail were at the back sniggering about something like a couple of little bitches. But I couldn't say for sure it was them. He was pretty upset about it, obviously. I think Mrs. Spencer just told him to grow up when he told her about it. When we were in year 8, my dad got a new job, so we had to move away and I started a new school. I'd still talk to Aidan online all the time. We used to game quite a bit. He did start to act like a bit of a spaz. I was pretty sure that was just his online persona. He was still just the normal dork he always was when we were just messaging each other. I hadn't spoken to him in a while when some of the other guys from my old school messaged me and told me he'd gotten arrested by the police because he'd been bullying Tammy and she'd killed herself. Fucking nonsense. I mean, they sent me links to news articles about her being hit by a train and that, but as far as Aidan being involved was concerned, I was pretty sure they were completely full of shit. Because like I said, if anyone was a bully, it was that fucking bitch Tammy. Aid never did anything to anyone when I knew him. But everyone I spoke to seemed convinced he was involved. I'd still talk to him online now and then, but I never brought it up and he never mentioned it, so I kind of figured it was just a new way for the dickheads at his school to wind him up. Although, one time, when we were playing COD together, he got into a stupid fight with the squeaker, and he kept going on that he'd killed someone in real life, and he was going to track this kid down and kill him too. Nah, that was just fucking bullshit. He was just trolling. I hadn't spoken to him for years now. No reason. I kept meaning to get back in touch, but I never got round to it. I got an email from my mum this morning. She sent me a link to a news article about a murder, asking me if it was the same Aidan Mitchell I went to school with. And yeah, it was the same Aidan Mitchell. Murdered. Bludgeoned to death with a fucking hammer. Fucking hell. Poor guy. I couldn't believe what I was reading. It turned my stomach inside out. And the only people I've ever known who've died are, apart from that bitch Tammy, are old relatives. It's really fucked up to learn that one of your childhood mates is dead. Murdered as well. He could be a bit of a weirdo, but he was a sound guy. He definitely didn't deserve that. I hope they catch the bastards who did it. Anyway, here's to you, my friend. Here's to you.